Good morning. As I stand here and walk maybe half a mile to where I'm residency is, campsite, whatever you call it, to Tallahalla Creek. The geese that normally are in the cornfield where I'm at are repositioning from their morning feeding. I didn't know they were coming when I turned the video on. So as I just paused and listened, just prior to the video, I'd wanted to make a video. I already had my phone out. I took 2 pictures, and then I heard the geese coming, and then I videoed the beginning of what you have already heard. I'm reminded of a dream I had, I'm guessing 4 or 5 years ago, and I was in a creek bed. At the time, the location seemed to remind me of behind the house where I grew up in Carpenter, Mississippi. And again, I'm not looking at the dream. I don't have the dream. Don't know where I could even find the dream written. But there's certain things just etched in my mind that I probably never will forget. But as I was there at the, what I called a branch, a small stream of water flow when large rains create runoff. As I stand here in Tallahala, as you see, there's no water flowing. Completely dry across where they have cut a road for hunting purposes and access to tie 2 pieces of property together. That's something that may have never been done before. I don't have no way of knowing that. There's nobody around here living that's ever seen anything like it. It would be nice if they would reposition these rocks, and then they could do it in wet season as they do in the mountain streams, as I've seen in the Pigeon Forge, Sevierville area, where many homes, many properties are behind streams because there's so much runoff. You can't build a bridge for everything. They have these hard bottom creek crossings, as I've took pictures before standing in them. But to go back to the dream that I had, I'm walking to a small spot of water similar to that next little spot up there, but just for purpose of the video. As I walk, I come upon a fish, fairly large fish, I would say from 3 to 5 pounds, just to give you some idea of what I feel I remember. And as I walked up to the dry bottom of the stream that was dry, the fish had what looked to be chain link fence material wrapped around it. A better explanation would be like chicken wire for those that understand what chicken wire is, or net wire for those that may fool with cattle. But the actual memory I have was what I call cyclone fence wire that will keep a dog in your backyard for a privacy fence. If you had a chain link backyard, maybe not privacy, but just to secure your animals. And this fish was in a small body of water, limited to the only water that was there, and it was bound. in chain link fence type wire, best I can say I remember now. And I could only stand here and think, Lord, what did that mean? What did it mean? I didn't understand what it meant then, and I don't fully understand what it means now. But I will honestly say this is the first time I've stood in a creek bottom, completely dry, that I remember since that dream. And here we are. I just got through listening to a panel of prophets, Mike and Cindy, I don't remember her last name. I would say Jacobs, but I could be wrong. Chuck Pierce, Lou Engle, Jane Hammond or Harmon, Jeremiah Johnson, and Chris Reed for an hour. And the tail end of my video watching brought me to this point where I just put on worship music a little bit ago. There's so much going on in the world right now with Israel and all the things going on over there in the, I guess what they would call the Middle East. But here in Mississippi, we haven't had a measurable rain in over 3 months, I believe. All the harvest of anything that was harvestable has been wrapped up. There may be a little hay left to be cut, but we've already had frost, we've already had freeze. So I'm even hesitant to say if that's even possible, because it will turn to what I call fodder and not be able to be baled. Hay shortages, water shortages. Many are saying, look for fuel shortages. We do have plentiful geese right now, and I'm not sure what the Lord may be trying to use to show in that sight. But this morning when I woke up, I reflected back on a photo, a picture that was a hand-drawn picture where an eagle was in flight. And I'm reminded of the eagle that me and my dad captured last week. An eagle can represent America. An eagle can represent maybe the church. An eagle, I'm sure there's many examples of the eagle. Eagle being a very magnificent bird, flies above any other creature, to my understanding, any other fowl of the air. And I think of a word I heard someone say one time, and God was calling them higher, calling us higher. And much like the eagle goes up, and they just soar. Flying would be something that takes energy, to my understanding. Fuel, in course of an airplane, or representation of an airplane would require fuel. A glider would be the best scenario. A glider can rappel off a cliff and then just be carried by the wind and the shapes of the wing carry the glider. Birds fly, but many times you will see some prey, like a buzzard or something. They may soar in a lower level depending on the wind, but an eagle will go up to heights and just, in my words, fly the jet stream and just soar. I can only imagine geese having to fly long journeys, the effort that it takes to fly a long journey, much like a distant runner, the training that's required for a distant runner, a marathon runner. But for an eagle, just to put its wings out, something it's designed and made to do, that soars and he looks for his prey, and many times would devour its prey, is words I use, capture its prey. But to see an eagle in a previous video on this channel eating roadkill, and the representation of America possibly is our state bird, I do believe, eagle. Emmanuel Johnson talked about an eagle having a broke wing in one of his words. But as I try to come to this conclusion of this video, what is God speaking to us? What is God speaking to you? You may have a job today. You may have a check at Friday. You may have a check on the 15th. You may have a check on the 1st. But what if this coming Friday, this coming 15th, this coming next 1st, you didn't have a check? How would you survive? Where would you turn to? Many days, I think back as a believer, I think of those that have went to the church and the church turned them down. The church sent them somewhere else. Many times, maybe possibly the church was not there for them. What if the church is not ready? What if the church is not there for you when it comes time of desperation? And much like that pretty bald eagle, that magnificent bald eagle, I'm sure the results of what he ate was the same of something he killed versus it being run over by maybe a car or truck or whatever. I hesitate because I hear a deer, or what I believe to be a deer. When you walk by the Spirit, be in tune to all that's around you. But that magnificent bald eagle eating roadkill. And in the video, you see us capture the video. My daddy driving his pickup. I'm on the passenger side with my phone out the window telling him, slow down, slow down, slow down. Was the second pass by the eagle. As the first pass, he flew up just like he did the second pass. But the video recorded everything, basically what we saw the first pass drive by, if you will. But this magnificent bird eating roadkill. I think of scripture, it talked about people eating their kids. You would have to really fall on hard times to be that desperate. America, where are we headed? Because much like that fish was bound, I thought of every fish that may have been in this stream at one time or another. What is the outcome of these last pools of water that may still have life in them? Easy prey for bird, easy prey for coyotes, easy prey for raccoons, because they have to survive as well. But as this pool right here, I don't see a minnow. I have not seen anything stir in this pool that appears to be possibly 8 inches at best. It could be a foot at the one deepest point. But if there would have been a fish in it, big enough, where would it went? How would it have survived? how will we survive? If our paychecks are cut off, if the government continues to go the way we're going, we can't even fathom Israel and all the conflict going on over there. The amount of fuel it takes to supply what's needed there. The amount of stuff that should be in storage. And it's my understanding our fuel reserves have been somewhat depleted. A 16-minute video. If you was to even follow me to this point, I would encourage you to pause, stop, rewind, and turn the volume off and rewatch. And if you were standing in this creek bottom where I am, in your quiet place, what would the Lord speak to you? Because it's obvious it would be hard for you to get here to where I am. But if you're watching now, you are here. You're seeing what I'm seeing. I struggle to use the word demise. Devastation may be a better word, or devastated, for a creek. Some 100 foot wide and maybe 80 feet wide at the very, very top. Some 20 feet deep from bank to bottom, completely unflowable, and soon to be very dry. The amount of trees that are dying around many places. I had 3 trees that I planted 4 years ago. Actually, my sister Melinda planted them. 9 out of 10 were living. Lost 3 in this drought. The things I've noticed as I occasionally go back to the shop. Pray for America. I'm told that 11/11 this month, November the 11th, there's a national prayer call. We better be praying and we better be prepared. God bless you. Made Like New Ministries, November 6, 2023. Tallahalla, Flat Bottom. God bless you. Made Like New Ministries.